Hi everybody, this is Brenda Miller from Stampin' Up. I'm a demonstrator in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and I'm here today to show you how to make this quick card in a little quick class. We're going to be using the Bewitching bundle from Stampin' Up, and as you can see, this set has some hats from some witches hats, along with some stars and a spider, and then it has a punch that goes with it that also cuts out the band for the hat, and the hat is the same shape, as well as some additional stars. So we're going to use pretty much all these pieces today for our card. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is take our Parakeet Party card base and fold it in half. All the measurements and everything for this can be found on my blog. I will post the blog post in the comments once this video is finished, so you can look there to find out. But it's a standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half at 4 1/4. Then we're going to take some 1-inch strips of the Designer Series paper. Now this is the black and white Designer Series paper, and I call this the Harlequin, but it's just the diamonds, and you can see on the other side it has the black diamonds as well, but I'm going to use the white diamonds. We're going to take one of each of these and put them on the sides of the card, just using regular adhesive, which I thought I had here, but I don't. Give me 1 second. Okay, and I'm just using my Stampin' Seal. I find that to be the easiest when I'm making my cards. So here we go. We have one line, and I like to always leave a little border around the outside. And then this card, I often like to put a white card inside my card, and I usually do that right at the beginning. And this is just 4 by 5 1/4, and this is so that when you go to write on the inside of your card, even though this is a fairly light color, this could use a little bit extra. Now you could also stamp on the inside, but I chose not to for this card. Then we're going to take the piece that we're going to stamp on, and for this we're going to use the Memento black ink, and we're going to use Stamparatus. Now you can see on the Stamparatus I've gone ahead and I've put in the 2 stamps that we want to use. One thing to note is that because the very top of this stamp could sometimes bump against the edge of the Stamparatus, and there is no mat in the Stamparatus because I'm working with the red rubber stamps. So I went ahead and I put my magnet right there so that'll be the top edge of my card, and that'll just make it easier. And I've gone ahead also and put the witch's feet there, so I'm going to just put it right in, slide it right to the edge, and using my Memento black ink, I'm going to ink it up, giving it a little rub just to make sure it's nice and inky, and I'm going to close it up. Now, the beautiful thing about the Stamparatus, and especially when you're using some bold stamps, and especially basic black ink, is that maybe it's not as dark as you would like it to be. So, very easily, we just go back, we ink it all up again, and we give it another try, and we see if that gets it any darker. And I'm probably not pressing all that hard, especially when it gets to the edge. That's where you sometimes have problems. You can see it picks up a little bit, and I'm going to do it one more time just for fun, because you can see how nice and dark we can get it to go. All right, I think that's going to be plenty. So here you go. Look how nice and dark black that is, right? And it all just stamped right over in the proper place, so we don't have to worry about that. So that's how we get the basis of the center of our card. I'm going to put away my black ink, and then we're going to work with a scrap of, actually I used a strip of the basic white cardstock, and I'm going to stamp my hat right on there. And I'm going to use, I actually you can see this is a boo-boo, but this is the polka dots on this hat. But look what I did. I put the wrong sticker on, but I know that, and I've, when I held my class, I told everybody that. But we're going to use the gorgeous grape, and we're going to ignore the boo-boo, and we're going to stamp. We're going to ink it up really nicely. Want to make sure we get lots of ink on there. That looks nice and juicy. And I'm going to place it on my card. Now you want to be sure to kind of put it at the angle that the hat is in, so you can see that this is going to work nicely. So we get our hat on there. Now I could have done this with the Stamparatus to try to make it a little bit darker, but I chose not to just because I had other things going on the plate. So here we go. We're just going to line it up and see how easy that was. I just kind of looked at it and said, oh, look, it's on a little bit of an angle. Here we go. Punch it out, and we have all these extra pieces. But here's our hat. So hooray, we have our hat. Now, for the band on the hat, I decided to use the glittery washi tape. Now, isn't this terrific? I just love this stuff. And I used the black one. And I did not do this on the sample that I have, but because I wasn't sure I would have enough of this washi tape for the class that I did, as I had done this in class. But look what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the washi tape and I'm going to put 2 pieces down, because the band, when we go to punch it out, it's wider than this washi tape. Now I'll show you on my sample what we did in class, because we just sort of put it across, and that was fine. I don't think anybody really had any big problem with it. But to make it even better, look what I did. We're going to put the washi tape on a piece of paper, and then we're going to go ahead and I put 2 strips of it, and look at that, it's thick enough now so that when I go to punch it, just that piece, it punches out, and I have now a perfectly sized sparkly band. So we're going to take that band and we're going to glue it to the hat, again just using regular adhesive. Here we go, just like that. Doesn't that look great? So took my glasses off, gonna have to put those back on. But this is just gonna make a great Halloween card. So here we go. We're going to take our piece that we stamped before, and with a little adhesive, whoop, there we go. I just put a little at the top and a little at the bottom, and I'm going to center it between those 2 strips that I already laid down. Okay, well, I got a little ink on there, but we get the idea. And here we're going to put our hat on using dimensionals. I use my dimensionals all the way down to the very last bits. So that is the last dimensional edge on that piece, but it works just as well as the pieces in the middle. And we're going to put that on the card, just like so. Now we just want to finish this off. I'm going to use a couple of blends. These are the dark Daffodil Delight for the yellow, and this is the dark Highland Heather. I did not have the gorgeous grape, but I think actually the Highland Heather looks even better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to use the bullet tip for this. And I do love to use the brush tip, but the bullet tip is so much more precise. And we're just going to give the stripes on her socks a little bit of purple. All right, so there we go. So it matches the hat. And then the buckles on our boots, we're going to add a little Daffodil Delight. So it kind of looks like gold, right? A little gold buckle, a little fun there. And we're almost done, so we just have 2 more things to do. The first is we're going to add a few stars, and as we saw on the punch, there are some stars over here. And what I did is I cut 1-inch strips of the Peekaboo Party glimmer paper. So it's the this is from the pack of ombre glimmer paper that for the in colors. So I'm going to use this fresh one so that I can get the darker of the green, and look at that, I can just slide it in. I don't have to have a lot of waste, and I'm just going to punch it out, and here I have my 3 little stars. In order to get those on, it's often best to use wet glue for little pieces, but you can also just use your Stampin' Seal, and that's what I'm going to do here. And look at that, I made it all sticky. But to get proper placement, I like to use my Take Your Pick tool with the putty end. This is a brandy new one, so we're going to go ahead and put some stars right on the card, and this just adds a dash of little glitter, a little bit more glitter than we had before. The hat band, of course, has glitter on it as well. And there we go. Pick it up, put it down. Okay, so we just want to add a message, and for this one we're going to use Boo, and Boo is from the Cottage Wreaths stamp set. You can see it's for a lot of different holidays. We can do Thanksgiving and Christmas and just a hello, but here's a little Boo. So we're going to take that Boo, and I just have 1/2-inch strips of Highland Heather DSP, and I'm going to use the black memento again, and I'm just going to stamp it right at the edge, and with a pair of paper snips, just going to cut that. Doesn't have to be fancy, straight. You could put it on an angle. I've been liking to do that, and I'm just going to use a little adhesive again, put it on here, and there we go. So here we have a cute little Halloween card. I'm going to pull in my original sample so that you can see. All right, and that's using the Bewitching bundle. Now you can find, again, all the instructions, all the measurements and supplies that were used for this on my blog at brendamillersu.com under the blog, and I'll also put that in the notes. But until then, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, and I will follow up with you. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed. Take care. Bye now.